Hello and a warm welcome to the AI with Arun Show. In this episode, we are diving deep into a major turning point in the history of technology, the 2026 India AI Impact Summit. Held in February 2026 at the Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi, was not just another tech conference. It was the first time a global AI summit of this magnitude was hosted in the global south. The goal was to shift the conversation from just theoretical AI to population scale implementation, basic ally, moving from cool demos to tools that actually help billions of people. The philosophy behind the summit was Sarvajan Hitaya, Sarvajan Sukhaya, which translates to welfare and happiness for all. The roadmap laid out here is built on three foundations or sutras: people, planet, and progress. These are operationalized through seven themes, including human capital, safety, and economic growth. What was the big takeaway? We are seeing a shift towards a third way of tech development, one that focuses on technological sovereignty and making sure resources are democratized for everyone, not just the elite. Let's talk about the engine that makes AI run: compute power. You cannot build AI without processing power, particularly GPUs, graphic processing units. A major focus of the India AI mission is aggressively scaling up this power. By Feb 2026, the mission had already onboarded 38,000 GPUs. But the ambitious part is what comes next. Under AI Mission 2.0, the target is to reach 100,000 GPUs by the end of 2026. So, why does this matter to you? Usually, renting these powerful chips is incredibly expensive, but the government has subsidized this to roughly 65 rupees or about 72 cents per hour. Now, this is a massive price reduction compared to global commercial rates. This means that a 16-year-old student or a small startup in a garage can afford the same computing power as a big corporation. This infrastructure is designed to allow India to train massive models. Now we are talking about 100 billion parameter models right here at home. Now, having 100,000 GPUs creates a physics problem, which is heat. Now, these chips, especially the NVIDIA H100 and the GH200 clusters, get incredibly hot. To handle this, India has expanded its data center infrastructure with high density facilities like Yota's NM1 in Navi Mumbai. But they aren't just using standard fans, they are deploying direct to chip cooling and immersion cooling, where the electronics are literally submerged in non conductive liquid to keep them cool. Crucially, we are looking at green AI. By early 2026, 51% of the power for these centers came from clean, renewable sources. The goal is to hit 60% by the end of the year. This ensures that as India builds smarter AI, we're not destroying the planet with a massive carbon footprint. Hardware is the body, but models are the brain. The summit launched sovereign models, AI built specifically for Indian languages and culture, because the global models often struggle with local nuances. On Feb 18, 2026, the BharatGen initiative launched the Param 2 17B model. Now, here is a cool technical concept. It uses a mixture of experts architecture. Imagine you have a library of experts. Instead of asking every librarian a question, the model only wakes up the specific experts needed for that topic. This activates fewer parameters per query, saving huge amounts of energy and money, of course. It also includes a multimodal suite: Shrutam for speech to text in 12 languages, Suktam for high quality text to speech, Patram, which can read and understand complex Indian documents. The private sector is innovating just as fast, focusing on efficiency over just raw size. First, we have Sarvam AI with the Vikram 105B model. It has a context window of 128,000 tokens, meaning it can remember a huge amount of information all at once. Impressively, it outperforms global giants on math and coding tasks. But because of that mixture of experts fact that we just discussed, it only uses 9 billion active parameters to do it. It's lean and mean. Then there is Gyani.ai. They introduced Inya Video, Inya Voice OS. Traditionally, voice AI listens to you, types it onto text, thinks, types a reply, and then reads it out. That's slow and loses emotion. Inya processes speech natively, audio in, audio out. It preserves the tone, the pitch, and the emotion, and was trained on 14 million hours of speech data. That is the power of voice interaction. In the AI world, there is a saying garbage in, garbage out. To solve this, India built AI Kosh, a massive platform hosting over 10,000 datasets. This is not just a raw dump of files. They have data fellows, humans whose job is to clean and standardize this data so that it's ready for AI training. But what about privacy? Now, this is where privacy enhancing technologies or PETs come in. The summit showcased three key types. One, cryptographic, using homomorphic encryption, which lets you do math on data while it's still encrypted. You never actually see the secret info. Two, statistical, using differential privacy, which adds mathematical noise so you can spot trends without identifying specific people. And three, federated learning, training the AI on your phone or device so your personal data never leaves your hands. Now, we cannot talk about AI sovereignty without talking about chips. This is geopolitics. In 2026, India formally joined the PAX Silica alliance, a partnership with the US, Japan, South Korea, and others. The goal, to secure supply chain and prevent any one country from cutting off access to these vital components. The alliance focuses on securing critical minerals like lithium and cobalt and collaborating on future 3nm and 2nm chip technology. Domestically, India is moving from just assembly to design. We have seen the launch of the Throve 64 processor and the Dhanush system on chip. These are homegrown designs, proving that we can build the brains of the computer right here. With all this power comes the need for safety. Early in 2025, last year, the India AI Safety Institute, AISI, was established. Their job is to red team AI, basically try to break it to see if it's safe. They are building a database of AI incidents to track when things go wrong. The ethical framework guiding this is called MANAV, MANAV, which stands for moral, accountable, national, accessible, and valid. A key technical implementation here is agentic identity. As AI agents become autonomous, doing tasks on their own, they will need verifiable IDs. We are also building traceability by design. So, if an AI messes up, we can trace exactly why and how it happened. Now, let's look at some real world impact. This is not just for chat apps, it's for survival. In agriculture, we have Kishan e-Mitra, a chatbot answering 20,000 queries a day about soil and pests. This is also AgriParam, a model that uses climate data to help farmers plan their harvest down to the micro level. In healthcare, the Ayush Pavilion is digitizing traditional Indian medicine for global research. In modern medicine, they're using high resolution AI imaging to detect oral cancer, OSCC, in rural areas where specialist doctors might not be available. This saves lives. AI is also democratizing opportunity. In education, the Sathi platform uses AI tutors to help students prepare for competitive exams like JEE and NEET. NEET. It bridges the gap between students in big cities with expensive tutors and those in the rural areas. In finance, we are seeing hyper automation. AI is using voice and biometrics for secure banking onboarding. More importantly, explainable credit scoring uses alternative data to help unbanked people get loans. People who don't have a credit history but are trustworthy borrowers. Finally, the vision for the future is AI ka UPI. Just like UPI made digital payments easy and interoperable, this project aims to create a unified platform for trusted AI services, making it easy for anyone to plug AI into their business. To wrap up, the 2026 summit solidified India's position as the AI use case capital of the world. We are seeing a third way of development. It's not just about closed proprietary tech, and it's not just wild, unregulated growth. It's a full stack ecosystem from the 2nm chip designs to culturally aware models that balances sovereign control with open innovation. The global consensus from the summit was clear. The future of AI must be defined by openness, by diversity, and by impact. It's about ensuring that as we march forward, we take everyone, people, planet, and progress along with us. And that brings us to the end of the show. Thank you so much for watching the AI with Arun show. If you like this video, Please like, share, and subscribe to the AI with Arun show. We'll be back soon. Thank you.